Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Hello Life, with me, Dyan. Thank you so much for watching the previous episodes and for liking and sharing and subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So this week, after limping last week, the hexagram for this week is abundance, which is wonderful. Hexagram number 55. I was very pleased to get this hexagram. So in the book of the I-Ching, or the book of changes, we read, here are the key questions. What are you called on to do? And what decisions must you take now? In a time of abundance, you find that despite what you have lost, there is a new charge given to you that leaves no place for sorrow or anxiety. It is not the time to hide yourself away and grieve the past. Decide what you will do, take it on, make the practical preparations, and march out. So the I-Ching asks, what is your purpose? And basically, are you living your life on purpose? Do you feel that you have a purpose and that you are here doing what you're meant to be doing, following your soul's calling? If not, what decisions are you making to march out and do this and live your life on purpose so that you feel that you are adding value, that your presence is adding value, that who you are is adding value? And when we hear abundance, what do we normally think of? We normally think of money. That is the general perception. If you say we're going to manifest abundance, people think, I'm going to increase my bank account. The wealth is always associated with a bank balance. We never think of abundance in terms of joy or community support or family or talents or spiritual abundance or creative abundance. We always think of it in terms of money. And this then divides people into haves and have-nots. And this whole created image of people who have are those who have a bank balance, and those who have not do not have a bank balance. So this results in the have-nots being viewed as people who have nothing, which is untrue. They could have amazing amounts of talent, they could have amazing amounts of friends and group support. So it's a very unfortunate thing to see how the world has shifted the feeling and the word and the essence of abundance is now absolutely just held in money. And I'd be interested to see how long this is going to last with all the changes that are happening on the planet, especially with Uranus in Taurus, which means that we will have changes to our financial systems and also shifts and changes to the land and agriculture. So we may be seeing abundance shifting in other areas, that people could have an abundance of innovation, because that is really what we need, not this abundance of lots of zeros behind a number in your bank account. So for yourself, what do you feel you would want more of? There are literally thousands of meditations and courses on the internet, how to manifest abundance, how to increase your wealth, your money wealth. The thing is this, that when we are in a consciousness of lack or a poverty consciousness, when we feel that we don't have enough, doing a meditation or a mantra or any kind of course related to creating abundance will not work, because we need to first have the resonance, the energetic frequency of abundance, of what we want to create. In other words, when you get a feeling of joy or peace or openness, happiness, then you need to use that and say, I want more of this. This is what I want an abundance of. So it works more on a feeling. So as soon as you get a feeling of fulfillment, harness that feeling and say, give me more of this. And don't immediately think, oh, this is so amazing. When is this going to end? So hold the feeling and call for more of it. But you have to have the feeling first, and then the affirmations and the manifestation. You can't affirm to something when you're holding an aura and an energetic frequency of lack. So the rune is boundaries, quite interesting. So we go from abundance and we go to boundaries. So in the healing runes, we read, perhaps the challenge you are now facing requires the courage to say no to something that no longer has a place in your life. Boundaries and walls are very different things. As you decide what to accept and what to reject, you will learn to live feeling protected and yet free of walls. Drawing this rune can be an affirmation. Setting appropriate boundaries creates freedom. And that is a very important thing to remember. So the boundaries in our physical world, so clarify how you expect to be treated. So how do you want people to treat you? And be consistent about these boundaries. Because if we are inconsistent, if one day we do one thing and the next day another thing, people will continually start pushing the boundaries to get them to the place that suits them. So boundaries do give us a lot of freedom because we're not constantly protecting ourselves from behavior that others are acting out on us as we perceive it. So when we choose to have boundaries, we don't need to complain every day about how someone treated us and how they disrespected us. And this is not right because this person doesn't respect me. So we need to look at the mirror and say, how do I treat myself? If I treat myself with respect, then others will treat me with respect. And boundaries are also not a fear-based issue. So we don't set boundaries up because we're in fear, as it says in the healing runes. It's not building an armor around us. As soon as we start putting on suits of armor, we become heavy, very heavy. And we start wearing crystals and bracelets and all sorts of things to protect us. The protection is in our behavior. We need to send out something into our presence which says, don't mess with me. Because we all know people who are like that. There are people who command respect. So as soon as you get into that alignment with yourself, that your behavior is consistent with your relationship with yourself, self-worth, self-respect, those will give you boundaries. So lighten your load. So you lighten your load, take off the armor, open your heart, and the heart opening will be your protection, because the more you open your heart, it's not a vulnerability, it's actually a protection, because you're not spending time and energy holding onto things to keep you safe. So your behavior is your boundary. As far as energetic boundaries are concerned, so the physical boundaries regarding our behavior, then of course there's energy, and that's a different thing. So we have to realize that if we consistently choose to spend time with people who have a low frequency, who deplete us, who make us tired, and they don't necessarily have to do anything specific, it's an energetic exchange. Some people energize you, some people deplete you. Some situations or circumstances do exactly the same. So we need to practice discernment, and discernment is not judgment. Discernment means I will choose my company wisely. I will choose where I want to invest my energy because I would like a return on investment instead of leeching my energy out to people who just want to take it. So the energetic boundaries are something different. So ideally, you choose who you spend your time with and where you spend your time. If you're in a circumstance where you cannot move or cannot be away from that person, that is difficult. But in that time, build up your energetic frequency, build up your strength, build up your trust, keep grounding yourself. If you're ungrounded, you'll be very susceptible to having what is often referred to as a psychic attack or an energetic attack. Be absolutely grounded into your Earth Star chakra so that you can hold your energy. But over the long term, being around people who are of that energy vampire status, you will be affected. Energy is contagious, it's infectious. You will be affected, unfortunately. So the only solution, long term, is to leave. From an astrological perspective next week, Pluto has moved direct. So this is a week for processing that unfolding process or that unfolding of a transformation, a change, something that you implemented over the last few months. And the changes will particularly relate to inadequacy, self-acceptance. If there was something about yourself that you didn't like, something that you felt inadequate about, this is an opportunity to let it drop off as this week unfolds. So it could be anything about the relationship that you have with yourself. So it's bringing things into balance where you go, I'm not going to criticize myself anymore. I want to think of myself as enough. I am enough, being enough. So your presence, this is the focus for this week astrologically, is my presence is enough. I don't have to do anything to be acceptable. My presence, my being. So bring your relationship with yourself together. Bring in a self-respect, self-nurture, release self-criticism. Try and find good things to say to yourself. But all that inadequacy, release it. Okay, let's see what the Light Seers Tarot has to say for this week coming up. The 4th to the 11th, I think, to the 11th of October. Just one more shuffle here. All right, so here we go. In the center, the Moon card. So the Moon card has many meanings, but generally it's surrender to the process, surrender to what is. It's the introspection. It's what happens beneath the waters, the emotional waters. So it's what's happening in your subconscious, your unconscious. So look at your dreams, see what you can release in your dreams or what you have been releasing in your dreams. Maybe past memories or things that happened in your past that are now no longer going to affect you in your present and future. And then the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is helping others. But in this week, yes, helping others is always good, but we need to remember we cannot help others at our own expense. So we help others when our tank is full. So helping others out of a need to be needed is sabotage. Okay, so in the past, so waiting for something, waiting to make a change. So if there were any changes that you were considering making about finances, so you wanted to make a change, you may have wanted to open a business or invest money in something, not quite certain, didn't have all the information, and going forward, not feeling this financial abundance, to use that word. So feeling a bit of lack, actually. I don't have enough money. How can I cope? How am I going to do this? I need to put this X amount of money down otherwise. And then the Four of Cups, I mean, is looking at all the cups that have fallen over. So the theme here is the Five of Pentacles. This person is sitting outside the temple and the light is on, but she's not asking. She's just decided, I can't do this because Pentacles, financially, I don't see it working out. So I'm going to sit here and almost feel sorry for myself. The Four of Cups is, I will look at all the cups that have fallen over and not the ones that are still standing up and full. So number one, if you are looking at investing in something, ask, get the confidence and get the answers, even if you need to put it out there. Where am I going to, this is really what I want to do. You've got to have that feeling of wanting to do it. If you half in it, nothing's going to shift. 100% commitment. And then look at all the positives of it. So put your heart into it, in other words, not your head. So current circumstance, the Queen of Pentacles, independent, financially independent, materially independent. And it doesn't mean that you have to have loads and loads of cash. It means that I feel good in the way that I earn my money. Whether you're bartering or trading or whatever, I feel good in the way that I work in the material world. So this is a good card. Things are working out. The Eight of Wands, it's news, it's action. Things are going to start moving in this month of October. So whatever you've put in place, things are going to start moving one way or another. So get your ducks in a row, especially now before the 18th of October, when Mercury will then go direct and Jupiter will also go direct. So try and make sure that everything that you need to have in line to shoot forward is there, so that you're not holding back thinking, I wonder, maybe I should. Don't overanalyze, don't go get stuck in the detail. Get it into the heart. And wishes, hopes, and dreams is the Ace of Pentacles. So wishing for something to come in. So yes, bring it in, call it in, and feel it and want it, and be committed. When we have the thought, we need to commit and then take the action. We often don't commit. We keep it up in our minds and go, that'll be great, fantasy. But we never actually pull it down into our bodies and earth it into the Earth Star Chakra. We never bring it through into the physical plane. And the outcome is the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords is recovery and resting. So it's, maybe you are in a space of recovering from something. Maybe you are just using this time to double check, which is a Mercury retrograde thing, but double check on every level, not just in the detail. Double check, is this what I want to do? Yes. Why am I holding back on doing it? What is my real feeling of, do I really want to do it or not? Is it just a lovely thought? You know, feel through this issue, feel through it this week. and especially with all the abundance and the boundaries. So put up your boundaries. If you've been pressurized by someone else to do something that you do not feel good about, the answer is no. So now we have the angel cards. Let's see what comes up here. Study. Okay, so maybe, gosh, it's not so clear, is it? No. Maybe it's time for you to either set up a course or do a course or look behind. In other words, doesn't mean that you have to go and study a whole new degree. It means that get a little bit more background, get the background of what you want to do so that you'll be covering your bases on all levels, so that you'll be using all aspects of yourself to feel into this new idea or circumstance that you want to move into. So thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and have a wonderful day and a fabulous week. Namaste.